Julian, let's start this review talking about the differences in your opinion between kind of a horizontal machining centre and a boring machine.
Yeah. Okay, right. Horizontal machining centres, you tend to be confined to the restrictions of the size of the table you've actually got on the machine, whether it's a 500, 630 or even 1,000. This machine type, realistically, you've got a table, but you've got plenty of working area outside that particular table. For example, this is a KBN 135CL. L being the extended version gives you 4 metres in X. So I've got 4 metres travelling X. I've got a 2 metre by 1800 millimetre table. But that doesn't stop me, because as long as I can put that component on that table, and of course I can clamp it, then I can machine it. And I can machine it using the full extent of the axis travel of the machine. So that's 4 metres in X, 2.5 metres in Y, possibly, height. And within that working area, because I've got a full B axis, I can access any particular point on that part.
Now, this is a Hyundai Wia machine. You mentioned the model. I mean, how many applications are there out there that would service what you've just suggested?
Heavens, you know, there's so many people who've got this type of machine. People you wouldn't automatically recognise as the valve industry. Anybody who's actually working in the valve industry could do with a borer. The oil and gas industry, of course, on various different applications.
Because boring is synonymous with precision as well, correct?
It is, yes, it is. But it's, you know, there's a lot can be done on a borer that you can't always do on a standard machining centre. There are tools, attachments that you can use, for example, contouring heads, facing heads, which you would normally associate with industries like the valve industry or the oil and gas sector, or even drilling equipment. There's all sorts of different things. Frames, which you wouldn't normally be able to put on a machining centre, you can put on a machine like this, and you can adequately machine them. And you can, yes, of course, you can precision bore, because the type of machine it is, the features such as the quill, the W axis, this is the quill movement of the spindle, it can control that kind of equipment. And it's been recognised throughout the industry for a long time that this is a machine of choice, if you've got the room for one.
Well,
the work, but the room.
I used to use a machine similar to this. I used to machine diesel engines as I came out of my apprenticeship.
Absolutely,
and I totally get everything that you're saying. But going back to kind of basics and grassroots, let's talk about where the x-axis is, where the y-axis is, where the z-axis is, and that important one, the w-axis too.
Yeah, sure. The x-axis is this movement here, the movement left to right of the table. And as I said, you've got 4 metres in here. Then you've got the B-axis, which is actually integrated into the table itself. It's actually your rotary axis. You've got your B.
So the table turn.
A table itself, yes. Thousandth of degree indexing on there. Then you've got the Y-axis, which is the rise and fall of the spindle on the column. And the actual design of that is a traditional build, a traditional horizontal borer build on the box guideways on the actual Y-axis column. And then you've got the Z-axis is the return and forward of the actual column itself, and then within the actual spindle there, that is the W-axis. That's the W-axis movement as well. That's 700 millimetres on there.
It's quite interesting. You've got a Z-axis here as well, or the Z-axis isn't on the table, is it, moving backwards and forwards?
This is the kind of machine that we find our customers prefer. There are other variants available which put the movement of the table movement to 2 axis, but generally speaking, people want this kind of machine to be as flexible as possible, and flexibility means I want to throw anything at it. If it comes my way and it fits on there, I want to put it on there, and you can put 15 tons on there. So it's not quite a black hole, but there's a lot of mass there, and you've got to have that ability to move it around, and moving it around in one makes it far more accurate as well.
So we've spoken about why boring, and we've spoken about how this machine works and the setup of it. Why the Hyundai Wia? What's the differences between this type of machine and maybe some of the others that are available on the market, in your opinion?
Certainly the more traditional construction, the box guideway construction. As I've said before to many people, at TW Ward we bring in machines for a particular marketplace, be it right or wrong. That's what we've always done, and people demand strength, rigidity, as well as, of course, reliability and a very good price. With all those 4 features taken into account, the Hyundai Wia offers all those things. It is very reliable. It is a very strong, rigid machine, and the fact that you built it in that way means people can rely on it. And as I said, the other features, they go hand in hand with the fact that you're getting a machine from TW Wards. We've been selling borers for 50 years.
So I buy this machine. How on earth do you get it into my factory? Do you bring it in one piece, 2 pieces, 10 pieces?
That would be quite a feat. But no, we would take this machine effectively apart. It comes in this section at the front here with the table, and then you've got your backup column, and your column would come off, your tool carousel would come off, and then we would rebuild it back in your factory.
Do you need a foundation?
Yes. We would always ask, certainly, that the factory floor is of a very good condition, but we would always suggest that you have a foundation. Now, that is entirely up to the customer, but of course, you've got a lot of mass here. There's a lot of cast iron involved here, and there's no real requirement as regards the machine itself, because it would be a flat floor installation. You wouldn't need a pit or any kind of pits to be built into the foundation itself. So it's not quite as complicated as it could be, but for maximum long-term use and make sure it's running as it should be, we would suggest a foundation.
I kind of get the message as well with this type of machine. It's not all about speed, is it? It's more about power, performance, long-term machining. Yes. What is the strategy when it comes to the machining here? Are we on a BT50 back-end HSK 100?
Yes, it's a BT50. It's a big BT50, geared spindle, 30 kilowatt through the spindle. It's about power.
When you say gear, at the low end, we've got plenty of oomph.
Plenty of power, yeah. So, I mean, it's certainly things like the contouring heads. You know, contouring heads, you're not running around those particularly quickly, you know, but especially as the bigger you get, because these machines can handle very big contouring heads to be able to turn, essentially, a diameter of up to 1 metre plus.
And you've got a modular tool changer?
It is a modular tool changer, yeah. We've got 40 tools, 60 tools, if a customer wants it, up to 120 tools.
I don't even really need to ask you about access, do I, because we're standing
in it. Yes, but the thing is, you know, different people have got different requirements, and regulations these days say you've got to have a fully guarded machine. It's not the best for everybody. Horizontal borer people, you know, as I said, they've been around for a long time, horizontal borers, and the guys who run them, they like to be able to get their nose on top of the spindle, particularly when they're down bottom of a blind bore. And I've got some inconel to move from the bottom of that blind bore. They get a bit concerned, but access is very good. We have extended this splash guard for various different customers, but there's plenty of guarding at the front, and it's well covered.
Beautifully finished. Thanks, Julian.
No problem at all, Paul. Thank you.